Hey, what's going on, We Are Network fans? My name is Bob Rombach. I'm the founder of the We Are Network. Just wanted to talk to you real quick, get your opinion on the WIAA conference realignment proposal here. It's actually a redo, not a redo, a revision of the last time they brought one out back in December. And I know it got some pushback, and they expected that. They wanted to get feedback from athletic directors and coaches and I would imagine fans potentially. Maybe not. Maybe that's not a good idea, but ADs and coaches for sure. So this came out last week, about a week ago. I just wanted to kind of pick your brains on it. Let's take a look. Let's look at 8-man realignment first. A little bit of change here. First and foremost, looks like they're changing or potentially changing the name from Lakeland to North Central West, breaking up the North Central Conference into two divisions, the East and the West. North Central West will have Frederick, Luck, and Siren, so they'll all stay in the same conference. They'll also have Valley Christian and Clayton, which is most of the Lakeland last year. They lose Shell Lake to Northwoods West, and what else? Shell Lake, yeah. So that's who was in the Lakeland last year. So losing Shell Lake, but gaining New Auburn and Prairie Farm to that conference. So they'll play one another once, and then for the seventh conference game, they play their somebody over in the other side of the conference, the other division. So that's how that's going to work. Shell Lake moves out; they move to the Northwoods West, and then the Northwoods East, which is interesting to me. Hurley is moving from 11-man to 8-man. Rib Lake Prentice is moving from 11-man to 8-man, but they broke back into two separate schools here in the Northwoods East. And then Flambeau, who had moved to 8-man a couple years ago, really is in the Northwoods East. So it's just kind of interesting. So many teams that were in the Lakeland have now moved on to 8-man football. So and that's part of the reason there's so much realignment going. I remember not too long ago it was 16 teams in 8-man, and now it's a viable how do I want to say, like, alternative for towns that are having shrinking enrollment, shrinking numbers coming out to play football. And so we're thankful for 8-man football, so these guys get to go out there and play. So that is kind of going to do it for 8-man. Luck, Frederick, Siren fans, what are your thoughts on this? Any thoughts? Or, like I said, not a ton has changed for you guys. So let's take a look at 11-man. Got this zoomed in. Yeah, I have this zoomed in on Lakeland pretty well here. So in the prior one, I don't think Lakeland actually made it through the cut. I think, like I said, well, actually take a look at the Lakeland Conference as it was last year. Grantsburg, Unity, Hurley, Ladysmith and Webster are the only four that are left in 11-man. Hurley and Rib Lake Prentice were teams last year, 11-man teams. Flambeau forfeited all these. That's why they have minus 6 points. 6 points given up, you win a forfeit by a 1-0 score. So Rib Lake / Prentice is now Rib Lake and Prentice. Hurley, like I said, going to 8-man. So they had to do something here. You can't have a 4-team conference. So Grantsburg moving, not Grantsburg, the Lakeland Conference sticking together though. Unity, Webster, Grantsburg, and Ladysmith, all four teams still in Lakeland, and then they add Cadott, Chautauqua, Weyerhaeuser, and Cameron. Cameron was once in the Lakeland, moved to Hardin North. Now they're back in Lakeland. Again, this is not set in stone. This is just another opportunity for athletic directors and coaches to give their input. In my personal opinion, as just a dude from Grantsburg, I like this a lot better from Grantsburg's perspective, as far as travel and lots of different reasons. But the biggest reason, honestly, I didn't want to lose the rivalry with Unity and Webster being in a different conference. I mean, we've kind of been going through that with St. Croix moving on to a different conference. Several teams in the area choosing to move to 8-man play. So there's not a lot of teams around that. Like I said, again, as a Grantsburg guy, the rivalry. So I would imagine, even though Unity and Webster were going to stay in the same conference with the last iteration, I mean, there's something to it. It's a lot more. It's a lot of fun, those rivalry games, as much as you. But what fun would it be if it was just a bunch of people you don't know or had no history with, right? So rivalries are good. So for that reason, I'm really glad that Grantsburg, Unity, and Webster were in the same conference. I mean, they've been in the same conference since the Upper St. Croix Valley River Conference, USCVC, Upper St. Croix Valley Conference, and then it moved to Lakeland. So they've been together this whole time. So I'm glad they get to stay together. Look at me, all see, I can't even say it. I don't know. Sappy. I'm getting sappy. So Lakeland picking up Cadott, Chautauqua, Weyerhaeuser, and Cameron. And then they'll have the crossover game with the Dunn St. Croix Conference, which is changing from what it once was. Boyceville, Colfax, Elmwood, Plum City, Spring Valley, and then Turtle Lake, Clear Lake, and Glenwood City, which is these three, if I remember right, were all in Heart of North, like north or east or something. That's how it was before, because Grantsburg was in with Turtle Lake, Clear Lake, Glenwood City, I remember. So they're going to be in Dunn St. Croix, and that's kind of lay of land. Other teams in the WIAA network family: St. Croix Falls, Ellsworth. You got Amory, Osceola. They're still basically kind of unchanged. I can get them both in here. Heart of North. How do you say that? Do you add the Heart of the North? I always do that, but I don't want to offend diehard Heart of the North people. Anyway, so St. Croix Falls is going to stay in Heart of the North. And then Middle Border will have Amory, Ellsworth, and Osceola still. So not much changing there. I think Middle Border is exactly the same. Heart of the North, like I said, loses Cameron, and otherwise, do they change any? Anyway, I think Barron's always been it. Anyway, so not much change there, but give me your input there. Maybe you guys think there should be some change in those conferences. In the first iteration, there definitely was. So that is it. The big changes coming here between Lakeland and Dunn St. Croix, which were inevitable for the Lakeland Conference, since, like I said, 3 of the 7 teams, even though Flambeau wasn't even playing last year, there's only 4 teams left. So something had to change. Wondering, Lakeland fans, do you like this? Did you like the last one? Do you think there's another better solution? Because as you can see, we're kind of picking on a couple. There's a lot of changes happening in football. So something had to change. Love to get your thoughts on my thoughts here. I'm pretty much for this realignment. I think it's about as good as we could hope for. So again, your thoughts on my thoughts, put them in the comment section below. I'd love to look through them and interact with you as we navigate this. So until next time, I'll see you on the court, on the field, or somewhere else.